Greetings, Hempster. Welcome to another Hemp episode of HempAware Radio. This is your Hemp-entrepreneurial host, Tyler Hemp, here to empower your hemposphere as usual, bringing you the latest insights and stories from the world of hemp entrepreneurship. Today, I have a very special guest joining us, someone who has been a trailblazer in the hemp industry, Justin Benton, CEO of 101 CBD. And Justin is a visionary leader whose passion for hemp has driven 101cbd.org to become one of the leading providers of CBD products, but not just any CBD product. We're going to get into what makes his products unique and different from any other products on the market like it. And his journey in the hemp industry is very inspiring. It's filled with innovative approaches to marketing and a deep commitment to bringing the benefits of hemp and CBD to the broader public. And Justin's dedication to quality and education has set a high standard in the industry, making 101cbd.org a trusted name among consumers and practitioners alike. And they created a formula of organic, raw, whole plant, truly full spectrum CBDA oil when they were desperately trying to find answers after their son was diagnosed with a severe neurological disorder at just age 2. And having experienced such a miracle in their family, their mission to educate the world about the benefits of raw CBDA and provide the highest quality hemp products worldwide. But before we dive into our conversation with Justin, I'd just like to take a moment to highlight how HempAware can support your hemp or cannabis business. At HempAware, we understand the unique challenges of the hemp market, from regulatory hurdles to the different marketing constraints that every hemp company has to navigate through. And that's why we've developed specialized brand strategy and marketing services designed to help you stand out in the marketplace and succeed with your hemp products. So whether you're just looking to scale your operations or launch a new product, come up with a new website, or produce high quality content to attract your ideal customers, HempAware is here to provide you with the tools that you need to succeed. So now that we've covered that, I'd love to welcome Justin Benton to the show and learn a little bit more about his journey and share some insights with you. Thanks so much for joining me, Justin.
Hey, well, Tyler, thanks for having me. And it's a small world. We kind of sort of met at the Think and Grow Rich Challenge here pretty recently done with Russell Brunson, and you were on stage and asked a question, and here we are a few weeks later, and just really excited to be here. I love what you're doing. I love that intro, bro. That was great. I'm gonna have to clip that one and put it somewhere and put it on my social media. But yeah, definitely happy to be here, happy to support, happy to collaborate. Obviously, us hempsters that have been around for a while before the craze, we're still here because we're here for the right reasons. This miracle plant has changed our lives, loved ones' lives. We've seen the injustice that's happened, and we see so much, or at least I'm sure you're in the same boat. There's so many people out there that are needlessly suffering, and they're going through pharmaceutical approaches in Western medicine, especially for any type of autoimmune disease that Western medicine just cannot get their hands wrapped around. And so we've seen miracles with our family. My son, severe autism diagnosis, went from a 158 on the ATEC, which is a very severe. It's how you measure the severeness, all the way to below 20, which means you're neurotypical. And our prayers were answered. And I set up a little 101 CBD because I'm out here on 101 Highway in Ventura, California. And I just literally put up a sign on one of my office suites. And I wanted to give hope and education to other families with autism. But then everything went crazy in 2018, and people were pounding down our doors for all kinds of different ailments, and what a blessing it's been to pay it forward.
Amen. Yeah, what an inspiring story, and how cool it is that this one compound was able to get such incredible results for your son, and and then you getting inspired to create a whole business based off of it. That's how change is made, being the change that you want to see in the world. And you're wearing a hat that says over deliver. And I really feel like you guys do that with 101 CBD. And I think too, what's cool about your company is that you provide such a foundational, quote unquote, hemp 101 approach. Like you just are providing such amazing content and education, and you have your own podcast, which we'll talk about here in a couple minutes. But maybe share with our listeners, since majority of our listeners are hemp entrepreneurs, hemp experts, hemp educators, and people that own their own hemp companies. What is your background, and why do you feel like you were qualified to start your own hemp company, and kind of what led you up to that moment?
Well, I'm a serial entrepreneur. I know that doesn't mean I eat Captain Crunch every morning. It means that ever since I tried corporate America out for about a year and a half, and I said, nope, this isn't for me in my early 20s. And then I got back into the family business, which was real estate. And then I branched out into direct marketing in Omaha, Nebraska, where I grew up. So I've been an entrepreneur for over 20 years now. And it's my nature. And so I understood sales and marketing, had some very successful companies I've exited over the years. But when my son was diagnosed with severe autism, it was a sudden, progression. He was a healthy, happy kid, and all of a sudden he lost his language, and he lost his, he just kind of went into a coma, and everything stopped. And so then I said, okay, well, we need to get my son healthy. I'm his only dad, and at the time, this was about 10 years ago, there wasn't a lot of hope. There wasn't a lot of research. There wasn't. But I wasn't going to take it, because basically they said, just grip and bear it and get through it. I'm like, no, he was healthy. He will be healthy again. And that's some of the blind faith that we talk about in the Napoleon Hill world. For those of you that have read the book, Think and Grow Rich. And I had blind faith. And actually in that book, Blair, who is Napoleon's son, was born with no ears. And Napoleon said, my son will hear, which is very powerful. And when 20 some years old, he did hear, even though he was born without any ears. And so that's kind of where I was. I was in blind faith. My buddy was a cannabis farmer. Actually, we both were cannabis farmers out here in California. Everything was starting to get legalized. And so we were just kind of messing around. He had a green thumb, and I was like, hey man, let's grow some cannabis just for fun. Neither one of us smoked, but we were just doing it. And so one day we were having breakfast and catching up, and he said some doctor reached out to him because he wanted a CBD pen. And I was like, well, what's a CBD pen? Is that like a Seinfeld episode with the upside down astronaut pen, or what does that mean? He goes, no, it's a pen that's like a roll on. You roll it on where there's pain on your knees or whatever. And I was like, well, that's cool, I guess. But what's CBD, and why is he asking you? He goes, well, CBD is, I guess, comes from this form of cannabis called hemp that since I'm a cannabis farmer, he wanted me to grow him some. So I did what we all do, is I went out to Dr. Google and typed it in and scrolled down there a little bit, and lo and behold, you started seeing the research that CBD was helping children with epilepsy and reducing and eliminating seizures. And so, with Charlotte and Paige Feige. And so I was like, whoa, so I called my wife right away. I was like, honey, this might be it. Check this out. From cannabis, there's a plant that's helping kids with the neurological ailments. Maybe that'll help our son. And so one thing led to another. I combined that knowledge with some other research I found. My mom's also a holistic healer, so I was born with the power of plant-based medicine. But there was also another doctor out there, Dr. William Courtney, who was showing the power of researching and juicing cannabis, raw cannabis, to help people with late-stage cancer. And he was seeing incredible results. So I took the raw hemp and the CBD with the seizures, and I combined the two. There wasn't anything out on the market. There was one or two that were in the dispensary, and I didn't really trust all that. So I just said, I'm going to grow it myself, and I'll make some raw hemp CBDA oil. When, one day at a pumpkin patch, my son was having a massive tantrum, and my wife, I said, I gave her a little tincture, and I said, hey, give him this. We just made this morning. And literally within 10 seconds, he snaps out of it and runs off and goes and plays and picks pumpkins. And everybody was like, what was that? What did you give him? It's like, it's raw hemp oil. Anyways, that was like our aha moment. And that was, beautiful. And, so blessed to have that. So I didn't really think I was qualified to start a CBD hemp business. I didn't think about it. I literally just said, this is a miracle. I just wanted to help other families with autism and give them hope and education and access to the same products. We were giving it away for free forever, but then at some point there was just so much. There was we had to start charging for this. I mean, we're .org, and we give away hundreds of thousands of dollars of product a year. But if you're going to, reach 1 billion people by 2025, you need to have some type of financing. Even Mother Teresa had fundraising. So we had to figure out a way, and we did it through selling our products. And and if there's anyone out there who's just wondering whether or not they should do it, or if they have the calling and they're like, should I go or not? Or how am I worthy? I mean, again, I'm biased because I'm a serial entrepreneur. I'll go for it. I always say, trust your instincts. If your instincts and your heart whispers from God, whatever you want to call it, or speaking to you to start your journey, start it, especially if you have the passion, because I really believe if you are someone who wants to get into entrepreneurialism or hemp, then, and you have a real calling, because look, being a business owner isn't all cookies and ice cream and bubble gum. There are going to be massive ups and massive downs, and there's going to be doubts. It's going to be the greatest personal growth journey you'll ever go on. But there's going to be mornings when you don't want to get out of bed and you don't want to keep going, and it's just too hard. You want to give up and throw in the towel. But if you have a big enough why, and obviously I'm paying it forward for my son, and I see miracles every day, that you just say, I can't stop, right? And if the why is big enough, and Napoleon Hill calls it definiteness of purpose, then you keep going, you'll push through and you'll get there. And then 10 years from now, you'll have a movement, or you'll be somewhere and making your mark in the world.
Amen. What a great intro to kind of this whole conversation. And knowing that you started out in sales and marketing, you're a serial entrepreneur, not the Captain Crunch kind, but the one that dabbles in multiple types of businesses. And you had that burning desire all these years to do something with yourself, with your gift to serve. And then just this, I guess, miracle of sorts with your son, and experiencing the raw juicing of cannabis, which I'd love to dive a little bit deeper into, because I feel like that's really a unique angle that you guys take that's different from what anybody else is doing. And providing,
I could bore you to tears on that. If you want to go into CBDA and the acidic precursor of the plant, you let me know. I've been talking about that for 10 years.
Exactly. So maybe let's talk a little about that specifically right now. So like, what are most companies offering? How are they extracting the CBD? And how are you doing it with this raw form? And what makes it unique and different?
Well, the biggest thing is, look, the plant makes CBDA. It's, cannabidiolic acid is what it is. So when the plant makes it, that's what the plant makes. Well, we've been conditioned over the years, especially our country, is that if you're going to extract cannabinoids from the cannabis plant, CBD is a cannabinoid, then we always have heated it. It was easier, used alcohol, whatever. It was easier to decarboxylate the plant to get mostly back then it was THCA. So the plant makes THCA. It's the acidic precursor THC. And it's funny, if you ever watch like the movie Cheech and Chong, and the cop pulls him over, and Tommy Chong's eating all the weed and the marijuana, and then he goes on like this acid trip or whatever. But it's like, if you ate raw, cannabis high in THCA, you would not get high. I actually grown a whole bunch myself and juiced it, and you do not get high. You only get high when you put flame or fire to the THCA, which changes the molecule from a 3-dimensional to a 2-dimensional, and it's THC delta 9. And that's the psychoactive part of the plant. And so we were using the old logic to pull CBD off the plant. We were heating it because that's all we knew. And so we didn't understand that, juicing cannabis, even though like India has been using like bang, bong, the teas and the things like that we even have Oriental journals dating back to the 8,000 years ago that they were using raw cannabis for medical purposes and oils and rubs and things like that. So again, the plant makes CBDA. And when you keep it in CBDA form, the godfather of cannabinoid medicine, Dr. Raphael Mechoulam, who recently passed away, just an amazing guy. He was the one who first was able to start studying CBD and THC in the science in the early 1960s. He came out with some research showing that CBDA is actually up to 1,000 times stronger than isolated CBD. And so and that was actually a study based on anxiety and nausea is what they were focused on with cancer treatment. And you can Google that and look that up on pubmed.gov. But again, so the difference of why we make it different is that we just respect the plant. Like if you can grow cannabis, which we have YouTube videos that'll show you, and you can just get some free seeds from us on anything you order. We'll just throw them in. Still kind of springtime. You can probably get away with doing some outdoor. And, and I know you got some seeds too. So whatever, grow the plant. That's the best part. I mean, if you can grow the plant and then get it into full maturity, and then the buds or the flowers are there, and then you can clip them in the morning and throw them in your juicer with your celery and your kale and everything else. That's the coolest, the best. And then you can even freeze it. Even if it's a harvest once a year, you can freeze it in your freezer until next harvest. But if you don't have a green thumb and you don't have access to that, then the next best thing is to find a product like ours that has raw whole plant, cold pressed, cold extracted, just basically juiced oil, and we use organic hemp seed oil. I believe we've used even yours in the past, is what you were telling me. And so again, that's it. It's like we don't want to stay away, we don't want to veer away from the plant. And I hope that answers your question. I know a lot of other, there's full spectrum, there's broad spectrum, there's isolate. No one's really policing those terms. So it's not, to me, full spectrum is like a full spectrum of light. If you leave it the way the plant was grown, you're going to have everything the plant ever made. If you start isolating or burning off or taking things out, now you've got a lesser version of the plant.
Right. So there's possibly an additional entourage effect by incorporating or keeping the plant in its raw form, including enzymes and cofactors and flavonoids and terpenes and other things that probably have this synergistic effect.
Eat it. Just eat the plant. You want to get high, eat it. You want to get healthy, eat it. Eat it.
Right. So you covered a few important benefits. You talked about neurological support. You talked about anxiety, pain relief. Do you feel like the CBDA, the raw form of this plant, has additional benefits that you maybe can't get from a decarboxylated CBD?
Again, so to me, it's like what I say, true full spectrum. So, the doctors, I mean, look, we only really figured and researched, and Dr. Raphael Mechoulam was around when we discovered the endocannabinoid system in the early 90s. And look, the endocannabinoid system is in every mammal. Except for ferrets, I heard. I don't know if that's true. But anyways, it's in every mammal. And so we have this endocannabinoid system, which is like a puppet master. And this endocannabinoid system is balanced by how well we supplement our endocannabinoid system with cannabinoids. And you can get phytocannabinoids from eating the plants and things like that. And then we have endocannabinoids that our body makes in the form of like 2-AG, which is basically the mimic of CBD that our body produces, but you can either take it from your body. Crazy thing is, you've been taking CBD your whole life. It's in breast milk, it's wild. It's in kale, broccoli. People are like, are there any drug interactions? And I'm like, do you get drug interactions from, broccoli or anything? But so to really answer your question, look, you leave the plant the way it is, and it's up to 1,000 times more powerful because our body knows how to absorb and take in everything the plant makes. And you will fully supplement your endocannabinoid system. And when you have a fully supplemented endocannabinoid system, that's when it can balance your all the skeletal system, hormonal, cardiovascular. We see people come in all the time for pain, and then they go get their blood work, and the blood work's like, the doc thinks they pulled the wrong report. And they go back to the office and they say, I'm sorry, I must have pulled the wrong one. And then they come back and they say, either they say it must have been a miracle, or I don't know, they usually go with that, because what happens is when you have fully, and Dr. William Courtney was great about that. He said, look, if you eat cannabis as a dietary essential, is what he believes, we should be eating it every day, just like, apples and oranges or what have you, or kale or celery juice, whatever's the latest thing. If you eat cannabis every day, you'll never have to use it as medicine. If you have a fully supplemented endocannabinoid system, your body is at full strength. Just like when you were 7 years old and you got a little scratch and you woke up in the morning and it was gone. Like your body is powerful. It knows how to heal intuitively, right? It knows how to grow your hair to a certain length. Your body knows how to heal. We just have to be giving it the right nutrients. And this plant, this miracle plant, is the superfood of superfoods. Eat it all day long and you just watch what it does for you. Like, I mean, we have topicals and tinctures, and I just love, because when people will try our topicals, because it's a lower barrier of entry, because our products, they taste pretty good, but it tastes a lot like cannabis, and it's an acquired taste. And so some people, and we do flavor it with terpenes. We have one like a blackberry cobbler that I think is pretty, tasty myself. But putting something on your skin, like if you got a scratch or you got like a beauty mark, or if you got like a wart or a cold sore or anything, like just doesn't look right, then you put it on your skin and that thing goes away in a couple days. You're like, well, this is crazy. Not to mention it helps with pain and inflammation. So, again, it's a matter of respecting the plant the way it was grown. It's what's worked for us and millions of people that have tried our products, and obviously for our family. So give it a whirl. That's all I can say.
Yeah, it's a good gateway product.
Yeah,
to get into the experience.
Yeah,
So,
try a topical.
Exactly. Now, I wish I had another hour to talk with you, but I will be succinct as possible here and shift gears into the more marketing and business side of things. What have you found to be some of the most effective ways to find your ideal customers, attract them, and convert them into ongoing sales?
Yeah, well, I think it's great that, we met because you were reading the article they did on us in the No BS newsletter. And that's the world I came from, direct marketing. And, I went to Success Magazine and I saw Zig Ziglar, but then I took all the sales guys out to lunch and we didn't go back. And that's when Dan Kennedy spoke. So I missed Dan Kennedy by about 10 years. I would have loved to have run into him 10 years prior. But, obviously the thing with Facebook marketing and that's what a lot of us tried, back in 2018, 2019, we all wanted to get in Sprouts and Whole Foods, and we all wanted to get on the shelves of chiropractors, which we did. And we all wanted to figure out how we could get on Facebook, which we did. But man, we kept getting accounts shut down. As soon as you get some momentum, the account would be shut down. And then it just was exhausting. And because you can't really test and try and do things if your account's always being shut down or your ads aren't being approved. So that's what I tried for a long time. And then eventually I just, fortunately, or however it works, the universe, like right now, Facebook ads and Instagram ads are through the roof. And even for anybody, any industry. So we follow Russell Brunson, and Russell Brunson's like the king of marketing. He's the internet's most favorite marketer. And so when COVID hit, we all got conditioned to buy online. So that's when I went to his world and I went in his mastermind, and eventually we ended up becoming partners in another company called Secrets of Success. But I wanted to learn from the best of how I could sell online, and he's like the king of the funnel. So all that. But here's the crazy thing: you want a tip on what's working, and I know you help people with marketing too, and I'm sure you know this, but maybe your audience hasn't heard. But even Russell Brunson, who's the king of paid ads as well, he is going organic. And a lot of us are like, with organic, it's like, it takes too long, 6 months, 9 months to show up on SEO. But he's also going organic with Instagram Reels, with YouTube, Reels, short videos. And, doing these like series, day one of writing a book, day two of writing a book, things like that. And you're seeing these companies like Andy Elliott was a sales guy selling cars. He went to a mastermind.com, which was a thing that Russell, Tony, and Dean did. He saw what they did. He put down $3,000. He invested it in himself. And now he's going to do over $100 million 3 years. And all of his traffic is from organic videos that he's done. He's getting that traffic. And then all of the calls to action are to a phone call. And then they get him into a room, and then they have like a $30,000, lazy boy up front, and then they upsell him some high level things. So to answer your question, what I see working again, that's exactly what I'm seeing right now. Another thing that I know you know about, and others, Russell also talks about this model called the linchpin model, which is basically continuity. And if you don't have continuity, you don't have a business. So if you're selling something in anything, just figure out a way to have a monthly subscription, or a quarterly subscription, or something that keeps, or a yearly subscription, something that keeps the wheels turning, so you don't have to keep cranking out offers. That would be my advice. I know I threw a lot in there, but I hope I hope you heard what you needed to hear.
Yeah, I think to kind of pull out the nuggets, so to speak, you started out by saying, look, there's issues with paid ads, so maybe just avoid that until Facebook and Instagram are more friendly. And some groups are kind of getting through the cracks and doing some finagling to do paid ads on Facebook, and they seem to be making it work. So if you can do that, great. I would say if you're not doing 50,000 a month or more, maybe stay away from paid ads for now and just focus on the organic stuff. And like you said, producing high quality content consistently over time with a call to action, with some sort of offer, and having a sales funnel built out. These are all crucial foundational things to make sure that you're catering to the entire customer journey, as they would say at Digital Marketer, the customer value journey, making sure to have certain types of content at each stage of the funnel. So if somebody's just getting introduced to this, maybe raise their awareness, get them some education, and then keep providing value. Maybe when they're at the point where they're doing some comparisons, they're looking at your products compared to other companies, you can provide value and information on that level in the middle of the funnel. And then maybe they're at the point where they're like, how much does this cost? Where can I buy this? And they're asking those types of questions. Give them content when they're at that stage, and then having the follow-up systems in place that bring them on to your system with some sort of a continuity program. So a membership or a platform, like a community they can be a part of, or maybe a monthly subscription to a product package that they can get every month or every quarter, just something to build out that continuity, otherwise known as the linchpin model, was kind of what I pulled from what you just shared.
Yeah, well, and I think that's awesome. And like, if you can afford $50,000, I mean, you almost need to spend that much maybe in Facebook ads. Definitely hire somebody. You don't want to waste your money. Find someone that's good. I know Tyler can help out with that, but you don't want to mess with that. That world is, unless you're like a crazy, like, super learner and you love paid ads and mazes, then hire somebody who's an expert at it if you're going to go down that road, for sure. But, again, also, like I said, there's, so much great value out there that you can learn. Find a good mentor. Obviously, Tyler knows what he's talking about. He's studying all these other greats like Russell and Digital Empire and Dan Kennedy. So, there are people out there that have the experience that can certainly help you. So, and another thing I would say too is, the build your list. That's a big thing that Russell talks about. Mark Joyner taught him that, the guy that wrote the book Irresistible Offer. Build your list. That means build your email list. So figure out a way to have a lead magnet to grow your list every day. What you focus on grows. So like every day you can get a reminder from wherever you grow your list, MailChimp or whatever, that sends you an email, or you check it every day. And I got 6 more people. So how do I get 7 people tomorrow? And more people that you have on your list, and every person that's on your list, you can say it's $1 per month. So $12 a year is going to be in your pocket. So figure out a way to build your list, and then that's how you can send them email offers and things like that. And even when they're on the list and they either some buy and some won't, the fortune is in the follow-up. And that means that we have those autoresponders, and you're sending out, a balance of education and then a balance of offers would be my final 2 cents on that.
Right on. Well, that's definitely valuable information. I'm sure there's some golden nuggets or green nuggets that our listeners have received. Where can they find you? Where can they come to your shop or go online and buy your products? Where are you hanging out these days on the socials?
Yeah, the easiest thing really is hit me up on email. If I can do anything, I mean, we also do like, I can get you some CBDA extract. We make it. If you want to make your own products and formulate, just hit me up at jbenton@101cbd.org. I'm on, Instagram. I think it's at the Justin Benton. But anything I can do to help, there'll be some links, I'm sure, in the show notes. Reach out if I can point you in the right direction or anything. Whether Tyler can obviously help out with the marketing, and he's got some great products as well, like hemp seed oil and seeds and things like that. And we're like us good old boys that have been around. We're just here to help each other. We've come a long way. We got a long ways to go, but we want the right people here that are educating people about this plant, have an abundance mindset. It's not all about competition or anything like that. If we're all winning, if one of us is winning, we're all winning, because we're in business. We're educating people about this plant. They're not taking, petroleum-based pharmaceuticals and destroying our earth, and this plant raises consciousness. And I know, Jack Herrera said it best, hemp may not save the world, but it's the only thing that can. So there you go.
Amen. Well, it's been super fun. I look forward to maybe being on your podcast here in the near future, and maybe having you back on at a future date to dive deeper into all these amazing topics and provide more value. As a parting question, if you've got 30 more seconds, I'd like to ask the philosophical question to my interviewees. If you were standing in front of the entire world, in front of a podium, and you had the opportunity to share one message about hemp, what would you want them to know? Oh man, that's a good question. If there was one thing that I would want someone to know, and I can leave this earth, if I accomplish this, which is when you think of aloe vera and you think of sunburn, it's right immediately. There's no resistance to that. There's no stigma. It's just, you crack open raw, fresh aloe vera from a plant, you rub it on your sunburn, the sunburn feels better. When you associate raw hemp, raw cannabis, it's all the same, of just rubbing raw hemp on your hands or your knees or your shoulders or your back, wherever the pain is, you associate raw cannabis with pain relief, anti-inflammation. Hey, that's the, like you said, that's the gateway to everybody understanding, taking control of their own health. And plant-based medicine is actually the real medicine. The alternative medicine is the crap they've been making in those little pharmacies for the past 100 years. Thank you so much. So powerful. It's been really fun. I appreciate you being on the show, Justin. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in to another Hemp episode of Hemp Aware Radio. Look forward to having you on the next show. If you have any ideas on what you want us to discuss, just reach out, support@hempaware.com, and check out hempaware.com for one of our latest ebooks, the 52-point checklist for how to do SEO on your hemp website, and get some traffic that you guys deserve. Thanks so much, everyone, for tuning in.
Thanks for having me, brother.